Hello, Universe. We do Angelina Jordan videos on this channel, and we cover her directly or indirectly, and we follow her career wherever it goes. And one of the striking features of her career is her use of music videos. A couple of years ago, she did a striking video with Suspicious Minds, and more recently with her EP, she did Love Don't Let Me Go, where her videos are getting more elaborate and there's more of a story to them. But music videos are an art form in their own right, almost like being a film director. And a good music video can single-handedly launch a career. In the late 90s, Britney Spears was dressed as a schoolgirl when she had a breakout music video, Baby One More Time. And 40 years ago now, Madonna launched her career with the video of Like a Virgin. So let's take a deep dive and look at the world of music videos. And we're going to speak to the producer of a music video, but this is not just any music video. This is a music video like I have never seen before. And the creator of this video also happens to be the singer as well as the songwriter. And a bit of advice about this video. You cannot have the luxury of blinking when you watch it. There's so much intricate detail that you have to keep your eyes wide open. The name of this video is Rule, and the singer-songwriter video producer is named Valleria, but you may remember her better as Miss Saiko. Let's watch the video together now before we speak with her. So, hello, Miss Saiko. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So, Miss Saiko is history, and now you're Valleria, so you're experiencing a new reincarnation.
How do you know that it's not Miss Saiko that was reincarnated from Valleria?
It's nice to have an alternative ego.
No, it was basically Miss Saiko is the songwriter, the brain behind any genre or anything that I would do. So Valleria is a product of Miss Saiko.
Now, you were very keen to break into the Moldova Eurovision world, and you come up with a couple of videos. And what strikes me is you are a very, very rare breed, because not only are you a singer who writes their own songs, but in addition to that, you make and produce your own videos from scratch.
I think it's hard if you didn't find the right people. It's hard to find somebody that would understand what goes in your brain.
I think that's under the category of creative control, because it's like if you have the whole image of the whole product, then it's hard to get someone else to really duplicate the image in the same way.
That's exactly the reason.
And I saw the video that you did for your Eurovision Moldova entry, and within 10 seconds, it knocked me out of my chair on the floor. And I said, oh my God, I have to make a video about what I'm watching. Because to me, it was like a combination of the surreal aspect of Salvador Dali with the all life is here scene from a Bruegel painting, who was the Flemish painter from 400 years ago. And all of life is there, and it has a surreal quality. And I thought, this is symbolism upon symbolism.
Because I was obsessed with Dali, so we cannot compete now.
Well, it shows, because it has a surreal quality to it. There are basically two types of people in the world. There are scientists and there are non-scientists. And there's a creative spark sometimes, which is not really something that can be analyzed. And we're not going to analyze your video. We're going to experience it and enjoy it. And a non-scientific, Dali is not a scientist. He's a merchant of images.
Are you a performer?
Yes.
The leading man?
Yes.
Sport?
Yes.
The writer?
Yes.
Comic strips?
Yes.
You are a human being.
Oh, well, thank you, Arlene. Are you Salvador Dali?
Salvador Dali?
And that's what you have in your video. You deal in images. And these are wonderful image after image that we see. And I felt that you and I need to do a video so we can get inside of your head and hear exactly what went on when you made this video. Because there are videos and there are videos. I've never seen a video like this before. And it is almost like you filmed a dream. And dreams are full of symbols, but they also can be interpreted. And let's you and I look at what you've created, and you can talk us through it. Okay?
Okay, great.
So we're taking a deep dive into this video, and you start by taking a deep dive. So when I first saw this opening of the video, I thought maybe you were turning away, or maybe you were an angel. Because of what you're wearing, you look like an angel. And I thought maybe wherever the angel goes, we should follow her.
She goes into her own mind. I'm not an angel. It's more of a siren song. Something witchy, something that is not really into this world. So she's trying to look for her alternative self somewhere far away. And I just chose the sea. It's like you would look for a forgotten world underwater.
Okay. When I first saw the video, and I've watched this video 8 or 10 times, it was not clear to me that that opening scene was underwater. What was clear to me was that it was an all-white world, and to me, that gave me the image that it's an idealized world. And everything is normal, and everything is as it should be.
Exactly. Yeah, you got that right. The ideal part. Because if you look at Run and if you look at Rule, the whole video is two types of world. One where people are biking, which is the equivalent of working day and night. And then another one is where you actually focus on a little bit more on what matters. Because you see kids and cats. It's a peaceful world. So yeah, it's more idealistic.
I love that all-white image, and I like that world. And this is the first moment where you introduce the figure of the bust of a woman who's looking out over this ideal world. So is this an overview or is this detachment?
Both. Imagine you have somebody in your mind, which is also yourself. It's like your brain would detach, well, mind, I guess, your soul, maybe. It would detach from yourself, from your body, and then it would be all over the world, analyzing, overlooking at what happens, the absence of time, and she's just there. That's why she's huge, because she's able to see the truth. If it makes sense.
Wow. In English, I would say it's like tapping into the universal consciousness.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the most powerful images that you have. You have these 6 figures, and you explained to me that these 6 figures represent the evolution of man. And yet, at the same time, I look at their hats, and to me, they're chess pieces on their hats. And to me, that's almost symbolic that as man progresses, he's becoming more and more analytical, and he's using his brain more and more. I love the images of the 6 evolutionary men because they're made out of leaves.
They're not made out of leaves. I don't know what they're made of. But I just remember I wanted some contrast and I just applied different materials. And not everything is orchestrated. Because how I did the video, I downloaded 3D models. So I was looking for the evolution of man and his intelligence. And when I downloaded, it was actually chess pieces. It's possible that they were made out of ground that had leaves in it because they're such a material. So.
Because you didn't use AI at all, so everything in this video, it comes out of your head and you have chosen the image very specifically. And so you are, congratulations, 100% responsible for this video, and AI gets no credit for it.
Never. AI cannot beat my brain.
Now, at the same time with this image, you have this female with a tail, I think, who is walking past these 6 images of the evolution of man.
Okay, that's another coincidence that I like. It's actually Lara Croft, so it's Angelina Jolie, but with a braid. Yeah, like this.
So the braid is cosmetic and it's glamour and it doesn't have a specific meaning?
No, the braid was there already, but I did not remove it. I did not remove it because it was Eurovision, and in our culture we have a mythological figure, and she has huge, huge, huge braids, kind of like Rapunzel.
Now, I thought she had a tail, but you have explained to me that it's actually a very long braid. What she's wearing, it either looks like she's wearing something made out of meringue, or she's wearing something made out of styrofoam.
No, the woman was supposed to be naked. I just took the mesh tool and then just made a costume out of her skin.
I understand if a singer does jazz, where they're sort of improvising and they're creative and it's different every time, but you almost have a very jazzy approach to the making of this video, where almost some of the images took on a life of their own, almost outside of your control.
Yeah, there's that part too. Yeah. A lot of it was me closing my mind and thinking, okay, I see something dark here, and then, oh, the proportions need to go like diagonally, like smaller and smaller.
It's great that you let the images run free.
The whole video is almost like a biography, but it was me speaking to me. I guess part of it is similar to me embracing myself as a woman. I downloaded all these models. All of them meant something to me, to my life. When I came to France, I looked back into my childhood. I looked back to our history, even Moldovans. I try to understand, why am I the way I am today? What happened to me? And that's why I guess I somewhat connected that to a very strong woman. If you notice the size of the figure, it's much larger than the people biking.
Yeah.
So she almost becomes bigger than her actual self. She sees her way stronger than maybe she actually is. And she's like, I'm going back. I'm going to just like that, fly through the past.
This is also my sense of this video, because for me, this is art as therapy. You create something and you are releasing something from inside of yourself, and you are discovering things from yourself because you are converting your unconscious into an art form. And maybe even during this conversation now, you will realize things that you did not realize before.
I hope so. Your associations sometimes they make more sense than what I initially intended for some of the images.
Well, it's not a matter of making sense. It's me just being very subjective. It's just my interpretation. And you get 100 people watching this and you will get 100 different interpretations. This is the nature of art. And this is why art is so rich and wonderful, because it taps into people an unknown world. And it's not exact. It's not like 2 + 2 = 4. It's so much richer than that. I love these 5 women as an image, and it gets repeated over and over again. Different angles, different colors, different times of day. And my initial thought was there are at least 5 different aspects of Valleria.
No. What else do you think they could be?
Maybe it has to do with a woman being strong and a woman being clear in their own world.
No, when I did that, I thought of you finding the strength in your mind, but being able to suck it from it and then just channel it into the world. But I expressed that, visually, through some sorts of fairies, witches. When you have a newborn, in the tales, you have a few fairies coming and blessing each with a path, but they bless that newborn. So it was pretty much this. It was transition between me today and the world itself. Like they would be that magnet who would suck it from my brain and it would just try to spray it all over the world.
The repeating of these 5 women images over and over again, different color, different angle, different sizes.
The repeating part is intentional. Them repeating on the different colors and from up and from down at all sorts of angles. It basically symbolizes that no matter what happens, no matter how much time passes by, they will never change. They will just stay in the same position, strong, solid, like a base.
So it's a statement about female identity.
Yeah, so they say that women are the portal to new life, to a parallel world. So it doesn't really matter if you're a woman or a man, you still have a female connecting you to the other world.
Because every woman has a bit of the masculine in them, every man has a bit of the feminine in them. It's not 100% yin or 100% yang. It's always different shades of gray. And then you have a moment where these 5 figures rotate with their shadow. That represents the passage of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a time-lapse type of thing, but they don't really rotate. It's only the camera angle that rotates. And the rotation was supposed to imitate the hora, which is a traditional dance where they just go around in circles. But it was a reference to Matisse as well, because he also has a painting with the 5 women dancing, and it's a tribal raw type of dance.
Not many music videos have classical art references from 100 years ago. And now the bust is appearing again in this image, overlooking the 5 female figures who are united in a circle.
The bust is pretty much my mind being materialized. That's why it's so huge. And she's already seeing the connection with her actual destination and the magnet, the 5 women, making that possible. There's a tree on the huge busts. Like there's trees growing from her.
And you have the image of the 5 women, and now there are some flowers in the left foreground in a similar way, in a circle, rotating.
And the same logic as the women, the bust growing trees from herself. The flowers symbolize life. If you look at the whole video, it's a desert. There's nothing growing anywhere, at least in the bike world. And here there's life. It starts to grow to sort of fusion with nature. And you have the flowers starting to...
And now we have an ancient Greek classical building, the Parthenon or the Acropolis. Is that a nod to the origins of Western civilization?
Yep. Yes. I don't need to say more.
How rich is that? How many videos give nods to the origins of Western civilization? Now you have all these cyclists, but you also have an image of the feet and the shins, and it's only from the knees down, and it looks like a couple who are embracing. And yet at the same time, you have the cyclists crashing into their feet the way an ant will crash into something before then changing direction.
I really don't mind this interpretation, but it was just an error from the tool that I was using because I had two options. Either the bikers crash into the feet, either the bikers go around it. If they went around it, I had to make something like that so they would not overlay each other.
Yeah.
Either they would just kill each other, and then for some reason they just still keep going, which would also have made sense because you work, and then you meet somebody, and then maybe you had some love affair, and then it didn't work, and then you just keep working. It would also have made sense. Or an individual walks into a relationship, and then their life turns over, and they just disappear from this world, and they connect to something else, or they just ruin their life. But in my case, I really did not overthink it that much. I just thought, well, it is what it is, next scene. So
because I watched this video 8 or 10 times, and it was only like the 8th time I actually noticed the cyclist crashing into the feet. Because it's so subtle, and it's something that you really have to watch this video many times because there's so much detail in it. It's sort of like, how many thoughts are there in your head? I don't think you can say there are too many thoughts. And now we come to an embrace, which is not a glamorous image because you very intentionally have a woman who is quite overweight. And I look at an image like this, and to me it means everyone needs love, not just the young and the glamorous, but everyone needs access to the experience of being loved.
well, that was part of the idea. Another side of it was when you actually love, no matter what happens to your body, love is still there, even if the sun goes down. In the picture, the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And if you look a little bit earlier, the 5 women holding themselves together to hold that power, and then it goes to the sky, almost like a spiritual hint, and then it goes back down, the camera angle, and then it finds the same women, but finally being transported to their actual sacred place, where they can just stay in peace and just hold the world together. And then it shows what love is.
Now you have an empty bicycle.
Who do you think it belongs to?
You! Everything in this video belongs to you.
Well, yeah, it belongs to the woman that was on the path, the woman with the braid that decided to leave her bike and not bike anymore like everyone else and try to find the actual meaning of life.
And we just saw 3 plumes of colored smoke, which were in the video for half a second.
They were supposed to be in the video for more than half a second, but I decided not to go too cheesy. They're basic Romanian Moldovan flag, the colors.
Because when I saw how quick it was, it almost made it feel like it's coming from your unconscious. It's just a flash in the video, and if you blink, you miss it.
I wanted to make it make sense for Eurovision as well. Because if you listen to the chorus, it's I will always be a scar of RAI RI. And RAI RI, it's similar to those vocalizers that you have in songs, oh yeah, in the English pop. So RAI RI, it's something that you insert at the end of each line in my culture, and you would say ho da 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 RAI RI da 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 RAI RI da. So RAI RI, it's basically me saying that no matter what happens, what I face in the future, my childhood, my past, my identity, it's like a scar will always show on me, but I embrace that proudly. So I will always be a scar of RAI RI, and everyone who questions that mocks me. It's just a star of insecurity.
Okay.
I had a little bit of trouble putting that into words, but I decided to stick with star.
It's really constructive and creative that you can make a video which is cross-cultural, which will have references to your native land, Moldova, where you have Radidi. And at the same time, where if you're not aware of that and you miss it, the video is complete in itself.
Because the story of the song was me 3 years ago wanting to be a boss bitch. A boss baby is basically the modern woman wanting to have a bright career, independent from any man, all that kind of attitude. But if you listen to the lyrics, the story starts in a church 3 years ago when I was looking at the cross and I was thinking about, oh my God, I really need to do this. I don't really know how. So I simply wrote, and I think I will go for it.
I had a completely different interpretation of the lyric.
Oh, but that is the goal. They would be mad if I would expect somebody to interpret this. Anyone that listens to it, they should be pretty much empowered and think, yeah, I really need to do my thing.
Because I hear these lyrics, to me, means someone who is coming to the end of a relationship and describing all the reasons that the relationship doesn't work.
No, it has nothing to do with relationships. No,
Okay.
It's more or less a contradiction of having to juggle with two main life goals at the same time. The boss baby wants to do something, but she realizes it still doesn't bring her happiness because it's kind of what happened. I just wanted to figure out what the issue was. The moment it started to be clear, I was like, oh, okay, got it. I don't need to prove myself anymore. So I started to switch my attention to something else that made more sense to. Part of it was thinking about my culture. Part of it was thinking about love. It was, how do I use those elements and put them into music?
And then at the very end, you have the silhouette of a woman carrying something. And it's a very, very short image, just for 1 second. If you blink, you miss it.
It was pretty much the symbol of normality. Like me accepting the normal course of life and just walking, not biking anymore, not rushing things.
So I think maybe this is one of the few symbols of normality in the whole video.
It goes to show that you can have a whole chaos in your mind and still seem normal.
I think a lot of people experience that. They have a lot of chaos and they try and appear normal. And the sister video that you made with Run, there's a very powerful image where on the right we see a man and woman in an embrace, and it feels like it's from the Garden of Eden because their modesty is covered with flowers. And then it looks like idealized love. And then just a few seconds later, on the left, we have a little bit of a black and white fabric. And then we go into a black frame where we see nothing for 8 seconds. And then when we resume, we see on the left someone who looks like he's right out of the Spanish Inquisition, who would be greatly disapproving of the idealized love.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a demon. I love the Spanish Inquisition parallel.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
So, Valleria, we look forward to the next leaps of imagination coming from the brain of Valleria Condria. Apparently, it will be soon. You're working on another video, which is almost complete.
Yeah, so the two beginnings of Run and Rule were extracts from my actual full video.
Help me win my fights, find something else to chase, go for my fears are loud.
I think most of art is very personal, whether it's on the surface or not. And I actually think that is the best type of art if you really speak from your own personal experience, because it's something that you feel in your marrow.
Yeah, I agree.
Valleria, it's lovely seeing you again. And we, no doubt, will make many more videos together.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's great. This is so unique and so different to go inside the mind of the artist who is a merchant of symbols and saying, okay, what is this?
I would almost say like it goes both ways because it's me going inside your mind as well, seeing how you interpret certain scenes.
Maybe you'll have a lot of YouTubers contacting you who want to describe to you their interpretation and make a video around it.
That would be lovely.
Okay, thanks, Val. Bye.
Thank you.